Exploding. Herb Ellis and a composition entitled Shine from out of the evergreen catalogs of the writers Cecil Mack, Lou Brown, and Ford Dabney. Herb riding over Ross Tompkins piano, Monty Budwig bass, and Jake Hanna drums. It's between sets at Birds, which is a bistro located near Memorial Stadium at University and Oak Street in Minneapolis. Herb Ellis is on stand there with bassist Dave Maslow, and it's good to have him alive and in person in this area. Hello, Herb Ellis. How are you?
Fine. It's fine.
Well, it's good to have you here, and I know you're recharging batteries between sets.
Yeah, we got the first shows finished. Is this being live now?
Yes, you're absolutely living on 11 stations or so.
Well, then people can come down for the second show, can't they?
They certainly can. We'll call them in from as far away as, say, Houghton, Michigan.
Wherever that is.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, they still have time to come down if they'd like to. It's a nice room to play, especially for just guitar and bass. It's small and people are quiet and they listen, and I've enjoyed it immensely.
Well, it's good to have you here. I remember a conversation that we had, Herb, concerning a reception that you had in Japan a long time ago. I think it was in the 1950s. You were touring overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And you landed in Tokyo.
Right.
And that was a remarkable scene. I wonder if you'd share that with our listeners.
Well, yes. This was the first big jazz package to go to Japan. And just to give you a list of the names, I was sitting with my friend and companion Ray Brown, the bassist. It was Ray Brown and Oscar Peterson and I. We formed the trio, but that was only part of the show. They had, I think, Dizzy Gillespie and Roy Eldridge, Flip Phillips. On trombone was Bill Harris, and I think maybe J.J. Johnson, and an array of Coleman Hawkins, just great players. And we arrived there, and we just looked out, and there was a throng of people. They rolled a red carpet up to the plane, and I, in all honesty, said to Ray Brown, I wonder what this is for. I wonder who's on the plane. And he said, I don't know. He says, maybe there's a senator or vice president or somebody that we didn't know about. But actually it was a reception for us. We had a reception there, and then they put us in open top cars. And we rode through the streets of Tokyo, and the people were thronged and hanging out the windows and throwing the confetti, and it took quite a while to get through this little tour. And it was just I've never had a reception or be part of anything quite like that, especially when you didn't know it was coming. And they reacted the same way to the music, and still do today. Perhaps the most dedicated country for a jazz audience perhaps in the world. They're just absolutely crazy about it. And they're very knowledgeable, very dedicated to it. So that's it.
Herb, that's a remarkable story, and we thank you for recounting that scene.
All right, sure.
The year must have been around 1953.
I believe it was.
And
good grief.
It seems to me that was somewhere around the time that Oscar Peterson discovered the Japanese jazz pianist Toshiko Toshiko Akiyoshi.
Ray Brown and I recorded her first album with her. Ray Brown and I and a drummer called J.C. Hurd, it was from the States, and we recorded this album with her. And she was a very young girl and was pretty nervous, but she played extremely well, as everybody knows these days. So that was a first for her to be in that position. She's handled it very well.
Thank you, Herb Ellis. And I know you're headed back on stand with Dave Maslow at Birds, and we invite everyone within earshot and within driving distance to join you in the intimate environment of Birds at University and Oak in Minneapolis.
Right. Leigh, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I saw you a couple of times down here, and it's always nice to see you and chat with you. And I wish you the best of luck and success with all your endeavors to keep this art form going.
Thank you.
All right.
Keep well.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.